Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ALS United Mid-Atlantic Goals podcast. My name is Tony Heil with ALS United Mid-Atlantic, and we've been running this podcast for a few months now here in 2025. If you've listened to past episodes, and I hope you have, you know we've talked with people with a variety of perspectives when it comes to ALS, from those living with ALS to our staff and social workers and nurses, to people who are on our board, to researchers, and even people outside the ALS community who share our mission to advance funding for research and accessibility. I'm really excited to talk with my guest today. Her name is Michele Yelland. She is currently living with ALS, and she's from here in Pennsylvania in Wilkes-Barre. She's going to talk about that and probably correct my pronunciations on a variety of things. So we'll hear her story and about her book that she has published, which is available on Amazon. You'll see the link here below. The Art of Living, the Joy of Fighting ALS. And so she's going to explain what got her to write that book, what it's been like living with ALS, and hopefully inspire you to share your story and be involved in the ALS cause. Michele, thank you so much for speaking today.
Thank you.
So, Michele, first, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from. You're from Northeast PA. What's your area like?
Well, right now it's raining, as usual. It's nice. I lived here my whole life. Like, our plans were like to move down south, but that's not happening now. So we're just gonna enjoy life in Wilkes-Barre.
It's a great place in Northeast PA, and I think you can find beauty in any city or country, town, area. You can always find it. So, tell us, when were you diagnosed with ALS? It was rather recently, correct?
February 2024.
And had you any history of ALS in your family? Was it something or is it something that was a surprise for you?
It was a surprise. No family, no genetics, no nothing. It just happened.
Yeah. So, what were the symptoms that kind of led to that diagnosis?
I started with severe leg pain and having trouble walking like up steps at work. Like it was just getting so hard where I just couldn't walk up the steps anymore, and the pain in my legs was like the worst pain I ever felt in my life.
Mm.
So I went to the doctors, and first they said, oh well, you're getting older, like you probably pulled muscles or whatever. I'm like, no, there's something wrong. So it took me a while to fight with with my doctor saying that there's something wrong. So finally he sent me to a neurologist here in Wilkes-Barre, and then he ran a whole bunch of tests and he sent me down to Hershey.
And with that, it wasn't just the kind of pain you get from I was out exercising all weekend and my knees hurt because I'm getting older. It was a more persistent pain then?
Yes, it was persistent. It was there like all the time. It was like so bad. Like I just came home and like from work and I would just plop on the couch and I wouldn't do anything. Like I went to work because like that was what I did. I had to work, so I went to work every day. But I don't really know how I made it to work every day, to be honest with you, but I did. The pain
And
was so bad.
did other people notice those symptoms and they let you know that they see something, or was it something that only you recognized?
Well, I think it was just me that recognized it. People like heard me complaining and they're like, I'm like, I really don't complain, but there's something really wrong with me. So then after a while, like I think people like everybody understood more at work, so they kind of like eased up on my work I had to do every day with walking up and down steps and everything like that.
And so, what kind of work did you do? Because your life is more than just an ALS diagnosis. What was your life before that?
I worked as a secretary for Wilkes-Barre Area School District. Prior to that, I worked in the healthcare profession. I worked for Wilkes-Barre Area School District for 12 years. But prior to that, I was in the healthcare industry. So I kind of knew from being and working in the healthcare industry that there was something like really wrong with me.
Like, if you watch a show like I Love the Pit, or my wife and I are watching ER, sometimes something will stick out and someone with just any working knowledge in healthcare might pick out something as that's more serious than just a pinched nerve, or that's a serious thing they need to get that checked out.
Yes, yes, yes. Because I'm like, I knew it was something more than that. Just from the pain that I was in, I'm like, we need to do something.
And I talked with some other people with ALS here on the podcast, and in particular, women who have ALS. And one thing I've recognized is that sometimes there is a challenge where women aren't necessarily believed for their symptoms. I know you have great care from Hershey Medical Center, and I'm not knocking any of the doctors you saw along the way, but is that something you've
Right.
seen from your history as maybe people not taking some of those symptoms seriously?
No, no.
Good.
Like Hershey did good. It was like my family doctor that was a little bit like, just because you're young, you're out of shape, whatever. But Hershey Medical Center is great.
I'll be honest. When I went to my doctor after I turned 40, and I mentioned something, wasn't serious, but she's like, "Oh, well, that happens when you're in your 40s." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's not really helpful." Like, it
Yeah,
wasn't
I
a
know.
serious thing, but that's not what you want to hear when you're in your 40s or higher. Like, well, that just happens.
No, no, not at all. Not at all.
So that was 2024, and it's 2025 now, and you decided to put together a book. Tell me about what inspired you to write this book.
Well, because like I would go out places and people were like, "Oh, like you look good. Are you sure there's something wrong with you?" I'm like, "Yes, there's something wrong with me. Like I have ALS. I have like it's a terminal disease. It's not going away." And they're like, "Well, did you try, like how about like therapy? Like go to the gym and stuff like that." And I was just so tired of people like asking me the most stupidest questions of what I can do. So I'm like, I'm just going to write a book about my life, starting from when I first started the symptoms up until like now. Just so people had more aware, like, even though you have ALS, you can still try to live a life.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to figure out how to fit ALS in with your life.
And so,
So,
how
like,
have you done that? How have you fit ALS into your life?
well, I still went on lots of vacations. Last summer my aunt called me up and like it was her dream to go on a hot air balloon ride. It wasn't my dream. It wasn't on my bucket list. But I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll go. A little nervous, but I went and it was fun. So that was like my one adventure. Then we did our annual Myrtle Beach trip in August. And then things slowed down a little bit because, Christmas was coming. And then I went to Ireland for 2 weeks. So that was fun. My one aunt went with me to Ireland, and my one friend lives over there, so we stayed with her family for 2 weeks.
So, what was that like? I've never been to Ireland. I know people who have, and they loved it. They said for some people, it's like their mission to go to Ireland or somewhere like that because it's in their family. Is that something you'd long wanted to do?
Well, my friend, like, she lives over there now, so I would see pictures and everything like that. I'm like, it was like it was really unique over there. I do have to say, I really want to go again.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it's just so laid back and relaxed, and they just have their little country stores, and everybody knows everybody or everybody's family over there. Yeah, so I want to go again.
So, how did you fit ALS into those travels? Because, like you said, moving is more difficult. What kind of lessons do you have for anyone who wants to travel with ALS?
Well, use your wheelchair. So I took my wheelchair with me. My friend actually got a walker from her neighbor, so I had like my wheelchair and the walker there. So as long as you're with good companies that can help you out, like when you need to stand and move around, just go and on adventures as much as you can. I was actually in Fort Myers too in July. I stayed at Margaritaville Resort.
How was that?
That was fun. That was fun. I do have to say that was fun because like they have a big, huge pool, and I can still kind of like walk in water, like so it was fun just like walking around the pool, kind of feeling like you're normal again for a
Hmm.
minute, walking. Yeah, that was fun.
And from you said using your wheelchair, using a walker, for a lot of people, it's sometimes hard to ask for help or to accept help. From your experience, whether it's with ALS or even before that, have you learned how important it is to be willing to accept help and other resources?
Yes, yes. When I need help, I will ask for help. So like even like getting in and out of the car, I'm like right now I could do it. I could do it on my own. So I do it, but like if I need help, I will definitely I do ask for help when I need help. Like sometimes I need help doing like the most stupidest thing in the house, like but I ask for help. My husband's like, "You need help?" I'm like, "Yep," because like I could put the water on the stove to like boil potatoes, but when it's hot, then I can't carry it over to like drain the water. So I'm like, it's ready. Come and help.
And your husband didn't know about ALS. He wasn't expecting an ALS diagnosis either. So, has he learned how to be a helper since that diagnosis?
He has learned to be a helper. Because like our washer and dryer, we live in an older home, is in the basement, and he's never washed clothes a day in his life. But now he does. Sometimes he complains, "Oh, I gotta wash clothes today." I'm like, "Well, I did it for 30 years. It's your turn now." Like,
It's not the most fun chore, but it's even less fun when you have young kids and they seem to have 30 different outfits in a week. So that, but
I
I
know, like
appreciate
I
they're not the
told him,
most fun.
I'm like, it's only us two. I said, I wash clothes for 5 people.
Hmm.
I said, so like I had my fair share of washing clothes. It's your turn.
I don't know about you, but when we wash clothes, we do our laundry, and I do it just as much as my wife does. Um, I'll either have the whole dining room table filled with folded clothes or the whole couch filled with folded, like because there's just so much when you have a family that you have to do,
Yeah.
and just shows that like regular household chores are tiring for anybody, especially if you have something like ALS.
Yep. And like I still like run the sweeper and everything. Like I figured out how to sit in my wheelchair and run the sweeper, and I clean my shower.
Hmm.
I right now like I basically do everything besides like I said laundry, and like if I'm cooking something that's hot like on the stove, like then I need help to get it off.
And how important is that from what you've written and how you've lived with ALS for a little bit over a year now? That you continue to have normalcy, that you continue to have power over your life. How important is that to you?
It's important to do like whatever I can right now because I know eventually down the road I'm really gonna need the help. So if I can do it, I will do it. And I just encourage everybody like just to try your best. Like as long as you have the willpower, you can really do a lot more.
Hmm. And there's resources through ALS United Mid Atlantic. You go to our treatment center, so you'll talk with our nurses and social workers, and they might tell you about some tools and things that can help to make sure living with ALS is easier, right?
Correct. Yes. Like they told me like to if I'm like washing dishes to sit on a chair and cooking to sit on a chair when I'm cooking. Yeah, they help me out a lot with stuff.
That's what we're here for. And so tell me a little bit more about this book. Like, what is the title, and what does that title mean to you for it?
The title is The Art of Living, The Joy of Fighting ALS. So the art of living just means that I have a terminal diagnosis, but I'm still trying to live my life the best that I can.
Hmm.
And you need to fight like every day. So like you could try to make a difference in somebody else's life down the road with ALS.
And I talked with our social worker, Jesse Meyer, from our Lehigh Valley ALS treatment centers, and she works with a lot of people with ALS. We talked about the importance of finding purpose in life, and that really helps with your own physical well being. Do you think that putting this out there and helping others helps with your own mental health and physical health?
Yes, I really I think it does help a lot because like it talks about a lot. It talks about a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff that like I've learned just from having ALS to just to an everyday like person who's sick, like how to try to help them out.
Yeah. So, what are some of those important lessons that you want to try get to others about how to live? You talked about making sure you live fully, go on those vacations. Um, are there certain tips that you give through this book about how you can make your lives better, even if you have something like ALS?
Just to like literally just to try live your life the best you can. If you need help, ask for help. Um, it's just the joy of like just everyday tasks, like and try to enjoy everyday tasks you're doing. Enjoy like family time, even if just like sitting outside and like having dinner with like the neighbor or whatever. Just living your life the best you can.
So I know that your camera went out a little bit there, but we'll keep talking. Um,
Okay.
so if you can get it back on, that's great. We'll keep it going with the conversation. And so you're there helping people, making sure they can live their lives to the fullest. If you're listening to this podcast and you're living with ALS or even something else, and you have some questions, go to our website, alsmidatlantic.org, and you can connect with our social workers and nurses. They'll give you some guidance, or we have some things about travel tips. We did just post something from our assistive technology specialist, Lisa Brownlee, about emergency preparedness and travel tips. Uh, what kind of tips would you look for now, maybe that you would want to find or you'd recommend that we share to help others?
Um, I don't know, to be honest with you.
Well, I know you mentioned about traveling with a wheelchair. Are there any tips or things that you would want us to share about how it can be easier to fly or use transportation?
Um, make sure you get you kind of borrow like not use your own personal wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Try to like because like when I got to Ireland, like the one thing was kind of broke on it. I was thank God I had an extra part with me, so I was able to fix it. But through the airport, my friend had to push me like manually with it, so I was a little disgusted when I got off the plane with that because we couldn't fix it until we went to her house. But it all worked out. It was all fun. We laughed about it afterwards. And then just like like when we go and just like make sure like the airlines know that you're like that you like you're coming with the wheelchair and then you may need help getting to like your aisle seat.
Mm-hmm.
Airplane I mean airplane staff and everything and the crew were all really nice, like all the flights I was on.
I think they're getting better at that over the last few years or decades of understanding accessibility needs and training their staff. I think that there's just a better world for understanding and empathizing with people who have physical challenges than before. Is that your experience?
Yes, yes. Yeah, same with the hotels. Just like if you're booking online, like book online for ADA and then just call just like to confirm everything.
I,
Same
I
with same with concerts too. So I went to the Rolling Stones concert last year and I had ADA seating.
I know even for going to a show in Philadelphia. It was a professional wrestling show, and I was with my friend Josh. I've talked about him. We did a podcast a few months ago. We reach out to the people to make sure that his seats will be accessible, and people were happy to help. They can't help if you don't ask first, though.
Yeah, yeah. You just need to ask first, and and then everybody's like really accommodating. So I just every time I get a chance to go somewhere, I go. But my husband told me no more vacations until next year, but I don't know. I may have something up my sleeve planned.
Well, that'll be a surprise. It'll be something to look forward to. Maybe add an extra section to another published part of your book. Now, when you published your book, it's a big accomplishment to write something like that. How was it received from your friends and family?
They enjoyed it. My dad, like, well, he's in like chapter 3 because it was just like I kind of tried to like involve people that I did things with.
Hmm.
So he was in chapter 3. So we cried, and he goes, "Yep, I'm always late." He's like, "I can't lie now because it's in your book."
There's some people that are always like that. I had someone in my life who was working on a project for me, and he was late to every single meeting, and then asked for a 5-star review for everything. I was like, you were late every single time.
Yeah, like I've never written a book in my life ever. And my husband goes, "You're really writing a book?" I'm like, "Yep." I said, "I don't quite know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna figure it out,"
Hmm.
and I did, and I did.
And that's what
I
living with
got it
ALS
out
is
there.
like, right? Just figuring it out as you go along.
Yep, yep. I would just figure it like all day long. Like I would just sit there on my computer and just type away, and then I would just like, okay, now I need to find a place to get it published at. So like I contacted like, all these publishers, and then I'm like, I don't have that money to publish for you guys to help me publish the book. So
Hmm.
I'm like, so I Googled and it said Amazon, you could do it for free. I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. So
Hmm.
I did. I published my book.
And I think that's something to be really proud of because I haven't written a book, and most people I know have not, regardless of their story. But for other people living with ALS, how empowering is it to get your story out there? Would you encourage others, whether they write a whole book or just write something on our website, to be willing to share their story and get it out to the world?
If they can't write a book because like just talk about your life, talk about ALS, talk about how you think like caregivers and everything that could like help you out and like different things to say to you instead of just saying, "Oh, well, you look good." Yeah, I might look good, but my legs don't work at all.
Hmm.
So like the top part, I look good. But the bottom part, like my legs are really, really skinny now. So I lost a lot of muscle mass in my legs. But I still put my bathing suit on and I went to the beach.
That's great. And we're really
Yeah.
happy you get to live your life the best you can. And we're all to find the ways we can do it. And maybe we can have, copies of that book or show it off at an ALS United walk. I know this year we had our walk in Scranton, which isn't too far from you. So next year
Yes,
you could
I
be
was
there.
actually in Ireland that time. Ireland for I'm like, oh, I'm missing it, but Ireland was more fun.
I
I
will,
needed,
I imagine so.
yeah, yeah, Ireland.
Well, we hope that we can have you at our Scranton ALS United Walk in 2026, and you can bring your book and show it off to people. And I think people will be really happy to see it there. Or you can join any of our other ALS United walks if you want to make the trek to Lehigh Valley or Ocean City, New Jersey. I know it's not close, but you love your vacations.
Yes, I do. I do love my vacations. I do.
And so
I
you've
do.
worked also in healthcare and education. Have any of those people seen your book and learned from what you had to say?
I don't really know because you know what? I haven't really talked to anybody really since my book got published.
Hmm.
Because like my son got married, and then my book the same weekend that my book went out. So like I had like family in and everything like that. So I wasn't really talking to like any of my ex coworkers at all yet about anything. I know they're all busy getting ready to go back to school. All
I
my
I
school
sympathize
friends.
with that for sure.
And you know what? I don't miss going to work. I thought I was going to miss it, but I don't.
And with your son getting married, I'm sure that was a huge milestone for you. Someone that for anybody, especially if you're living with ALS. So, how was that experience for his wedding and being part of that?
It was fun. Like I used my wheelchair to get myself around. Like, the girls got ready at one place, and then I had to go down to meet my son for pictures. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna wait for anybody. I'm just gonna. I went myself
Mm-hmm.
in my wheelchair down to where they was getting pictures at. I did that. I actually danced with him. I actually danced a few times, but holding on to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
or they were basically like holding on to me because like I could stand, I could do some odd things standing, but then I never know when my legs are gonna give out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you want me to dance, make sure you hold on to me because when my legs give out, I don't know. And they did give out once, but I got right. They held me up. I'm like, just leave me stand straight for a second because I wanted to finish that mother and son dance.
I know how much it meant for myself and my mother when I got married. My mom has MS, and she's not in the same situation, but I know it meant so much to her. So I'm sure it meant a lot to you, and probably meant a lot to your son after hearing a diagnosis of ALS to know that you were there for the most important day of his life.
Yes, because when I got diagnosed, they just like kind of scheduled their like their wedding date, and they're like, do you want us to push it up? I'm like, no, you picked that wedding date for a reason. There's no reason to push it up.
Hmm.
I'll be there some way. If I'm walking, wheelchair walker, I will be there. So I'm like, don't change your wedding date because of me. Like,
It sounds like you have a lot of determination, and nothing's going to hold you back, whether it's ALS or the hurricane or airplanes or anything. You're determined to live your life the best way you can.
yes, yes, I am.
Well, I appreciate you doing that, and I'm really excited for your book and hope it's a success at getting your story out there. Before we finish here, is there anything else about your book that you want people to know as a reason that they should read your story?
It just gives you let me see, I will read something from it. I'm trying to find. I had it picked out, but you know what? As I'm sitting here talking to you, I didn't really like what I had picked out about it. If you're reading this and you're scared, tired, or wondering how to keep going, know this: you are stronger than you think. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to show up, heart open. That's enough. That's everything.
Well, I really appreciate you having your heart open to us and sharing so much with us. I know it's not easy for others, and if they see your example, then it's going to help other people to share their story too. So thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you.
And if you're listening to this podcast, which if you hear my voice, you are, or you're watching us on our video, please subscribe to get more updates, whether it's full episodes or clips, learning about our ALS United walks and other events, and other tips and help for people living with ALS. Again, you can follow us on all those channels at ALS or on our website, www.alsmidatlantic.org. We'll have the link for Michelle's book here in the description and online. And Michelle, I wish you the best of success, and I look forward to seeing you at the ALS United Walk when it comes up soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
You have a great day, and I hope all of you listening will join us and support the fight against ALS.